Hi guys, this is Craig at Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop, and today's video is going to be my completed builds part number 15, the 15th installment, and it's going to include cars number 71 through 75. So let's get the camera turned around and take a look at them. So we'll go ahead and start off things here with the Revell 1956 Ford Thunderbird. This is in 1/24 scale. It's an old monogram mold. This one was done in pearl magenta with Anita's pearl white, metallic white top. This one my wife picked out for me last time. One of the last times we were at Hobby Lobby, I picked up 3 or 4 models, and she saw this one and thought it looked pretty nice, so she wanted me to build it for her, so she added it onto my stack. She also wanted it done in pink, so we chose the pearl magenta while we were there. It's cleared with Createx 4050 UVLS gloss. The Continental style spare tire was taped off, and I sprayed Molotow chrome around that. White walls came with it. The top is removable, so I'll go ahead and just pop it right off there. You see the interior done with a apple barrel pink eraser is what I used, and some white. The seat inserts and the door panel inserts are done in white. Okay, so we'll take a look at the chassis on this one. I didn't do a lot of any kind of weathering or anything like that, just some basic detail painting. We'll zoom in on the engine compartment. And I did add some spark plug wires. I went with pink to keep the theme going. And I did add some heater hoses as well. Bring it around to the other side so you can see them. The heater hoses. There's some other paint detailing and stuff like that to it. We'll bring it down to the interior. Some gauge decals included in the kit. I did do embossing powder that I painted for the carpet. And we'll take it around and get another look. Probably get a look from the back of the car here to show a little bit better. I'll zoom in on the gauges and the dash. There you go. I got a good look at the decals as such. That silver across the center of the dashboard there around the radio dials and everything, that's a decal that you get in the decal sheet. A little tricky to put on, but a little bit of patience, you can figure it out and get it on right. Zoom back away from that. This was an okay kit. Some of the things didn't fit too good. The chassis was a little tough to put together, but all in all, not too bad, not too bad. Not a lot of parts to it. It's kind of a little more of a basic kit. There's only 87 pieces. Not a ton of detail, but just enough to make it look pretty good. These old 56 Thunderbirds, there's some pretty cool colors to choose from to do them in, but my wife wanted the pink, and looks pretty good. I think looks pretty good in it. Okay, up next is the Lindberg 1938 Ford Custom van. This one I did in a custom mix color using craft paints, craft metallics. I can't even begin to tell you which ones I used. Anita's galvanized tin for the fenders. I used the decals from AMT's 1955 Chevy Bel Air. The kit did not come with any mirrors, so I actually took the mirror off, cut it and shaped it to meet the door there, using the Monogram Ferrari Testarossa kit. And we'll look underneath this one. Try to color coordinate everything, the frame and the chassis and whatnot. You can see the spark plug wires coming out from where they would be on this particular engine, Chevy engine, for a few years. Kind of weird, but hey, that's how they designed it. And we'll go into the engine compartment. Kind of a clean look on this kit, but also kind of a sparse look. You say you can't see the spark plug wires from above. But again, color coordinated everything with the rest of the car. Okay, we'll move it over to the interior. Not sure how much you're going to be able to see the interior from the outside of the car like this. We'll zoom in on the gauges. Got those from another kit. Okay, I can't remember for the life of me what one though. Go on to the other side. Again, a shot of most of the gauges. Did a two-tone gray for the interior. And the seats. Nice little pattern on the seats there. And we'll zoom back out. Overall, this wasn't too bad of a kit. There's not a lot of pieces in it. It doesn't give you a parts count, but it's not too many. The details are kind of okay on it. The door panels and the seats have a nice distinct pattern to them, but overall, maybe it could have been more detailed, but it's an old Lindberg kit, so I'm not expecting too much out of it. Actually, the original kit was a tester's kit, I want to say. But not too bad to build, not too bad to build. Parts fit was pretty decent. So, pretty decent kit. Makes for a pretty decent looking car. All sorts of different things you can do with it. It's just a dedicated build, no extra parts or anything like that, but that's okay. Moving on, we have the Monogram 1978 Chevy El Camino 3-in-1 kit. This one I did on a custom mix of craft paint for the copper using Chroma Molten Metals copper with a little bit of black mixed in to darken it up a little bit. The black is actually just Stino-Res primer with clear sprayed on it. The primer laid down so smooth, I just didn't want to take the chance of it laying any other paint over it and messing it up. So I decided to see what it would look like with clear over it. It looked pretty good, so I just left it. I use a turbo hood because I use a turbo engine. You also get a factory flat hood, stock flat hood. Same thing with the paint. You get a topper that goes on it. I didn't put any of the windows in it or anything like that, so I'll just put it on to show you what it looks like. So there's that. And how I normally would display it, you get the tonneau cover for it, which covers up the bed. And I just sprayed that with a matte satin clear. And we'll get a look at the chassis. I just detail painted some things, the shocks, the gas tank, the exhaust. Pretty bare, sparsely detailed chassis, but it is the old Monogram mold, so you're not going to expect much out of it. And we'll take a look at the V6 engine here. I did add plug wires. I went with the optional turbocharger for this one. Detail painted all the engine and the parts, the reservoirs and whatnot. And we'll bring it around and show the other side. I did add heater hoses, as you can see. Again, fairly sparsely detailed, but no big deal. It doesn't bother me at all. It's a pretty cool kit anyways. And we'll go to the interior. Basic black interior. You can add different shadings and everything to spruce it up a little bit. I did add door locks. You see a little bit from the back end there. Not a lot. And we go on from the driver's side. I'm going to try to get the gauge decals here. Get the decal for the center cap of the steering wheel. Pretty sure those are decals for the gauges. And the shifter, I think I just used the head of a pin for the shifter. And you see the door lock. As far as the overall kit goes, the fit and finish was pretty good. Didn't really have any problems putting it together. I don't really think I did anything to get the stance the way it was. I did use the kit Krager style wheels. You also get stock wheels for it and some low rider wire wheels and tires for it. Along go with seats and everything. So there's a few extra parts involved here. There's 116 pieces altogether. But this is how I chose to do it. A little bit of a custom look to it. Everything went together pretty good. Got no complaints about it. Just kind of a fun kit to put together. Okay, and then we'll go to the Revel Corvette C7R. This is a little bit of a different kit than I usually do. This is a GT racer. It's in 1/25th scale. I custom mixed some craft paint to come up with the color. I did use some of the kit decals, the stripe decals, but I didn't want it to look like the racer with the numbers and everything on it and the sponsors, so that's all I used. A little bit tricky detailing some of these aspects of this one. The headlights in the front when it swings around. The turn signals and stuff. Kind of had to add those because you don't really have stuff like that on a race car. Wheels I painted in black. Okay, the bottom of this is just basically just a plate, which would be for a race car. It's just the basic plate, so nothing really to show there. It doesn't really have any kind of a suspension or anything like that, so pretty bare as far as that goes. Okay, we take a look at the engine. Not a lot of detail to the engine. I mean, you can detail paint as much as you want or can to add details to it, like I did on the hose there. The anodized red and blue. You do the accessory belts and everything, and the air intake. But not a lot of pieces to it, so not too much detailing. And I'm going to have to show you pictures of the interior, because with the glass on like that, you just can't see in there anywhere. So I'll show some pictures of that. Pretty decent kit overall to put together. It's really basic. There's only 64 pieces. There's really no suspension or anything like that to speak of, or exhaust or anything like that to do outside of just coming off the engine. But it's really a pretty fun, quick build. If you don't want to build it like the factory racer, then like myself, you have all sorts of different colors to choose from that really go good if you want to use some of the decals for it, which I did. But pretty fun. Kind of, I guess, made it look like maybe a drifter or something like that, a drift car. Use your imagination with it. But pretty fun little quick build. All right, we'll finish things off with the AMT 1969 Ford Torino Cobra Fastback. This one is painted in a custom mixture of yellow, starting with Apple Barrel Sunny Day, adding a few other colors to darken it up a little bit and dull it down a little bit. The inspiration for this one was an old HO scale slot car, Aurora slot car that we had way back in our younger days, or probably from 8, 9, 10 years old. We had a yellow one like this, and actually had a white one with red stripes on it that I wouldn't mind reproducing again somewhere down in the future, but this one was possible due to the black stripes, and I actually screwed up on the black stripes and had to have another set sent to me by Glenn Day, a member of one of my Facebook groups that I'm in. Okay, we'll take a look at the chassis on this one. I did do some weathering to it. Just dry brush some various craft paints and detail painted some other parts. I used 1/8 inch styrene tubing for the exhaust pipes. And zooming into the engine compartment, I did add spark plug wires. Get a couple pieces of detailed decals like the air cleaner decal, but not a lot else. Go around to the other side, just mostly detail painted. The battery and the shock towers, your typical Ford shock tower mounts there. Go around to the interior, added door locks. shifter sits pretty high, I will say that. I probably should have fixed that and lowered that a little bit, but I didn't. I will go around to the driver's side. And we'll take a look at the gauges. Gauge decals were included. I brush painted Molotow chrome around the edge of the bezels there. Look at the back seat. Use bare metal foil for the door panel trim there and the seats. Overall, it's not too bad of a kit. You're going to have some issues with the rear end and lining up the wheelbase a little bit, and maybe a little bit with the front. But a lot of these old kits are that way, you know. Everybody's down on AMT that they're junk kits, but all you have to do is just work with them a little bit, and they turn out really good. And so that'll do it for this episode. This is Craig at Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.